Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We bring you stories of faith, love, and devotion. Yeah, just kidding, please help us grow by hitting that like button. Now on to the story. My wife cheated on me. We're going through the divorce process and live in the same house. She is gaslighting the hell out of me. I feel like staying under the same roof is horrible for my mental health. Need some advice. Need support. As the title suggests, my wife cheated on me multiple times throughout the course of the last few months. I had a sneaking suspicion pretty much immediately when the affair started. However, she was so convincing when I talked with her. I was never vindictive or overly confrontational when I brought it up, but man, when I did, she'd flip the script on me like I'm some kind of bad guy for trying to discuss our relationship and questioning her integrity. Anyways, I found out. She was constantly on her phone, and one night, not proud of this, I did what I had to do and read her text messages. I confronted her the next morning about the affair, and she lied. I confronted her again, this time telling her I have seen her text messages, and she lied again. Finally, I had to literally recite some of the messages I read, and she just fell silent. Her response to all of this was not to apologize, but instead she told me if I didn't push her to that point, she never would have done it. I know I'm an anonymous stranger on the internet, but guys, when I tell you I have never in my life done anything to my wife that would make her cheat, I'm not kidding. I've never been physical with her, never yelled at her, never really done anything that would make me question my own integrity. Truly. I'm not perfect, but I honestly have been a good husband to her. Well now, living with her has been hell. She is telling anyone and everyone we know that I have emotionally abused her. Even after finding out, I have never been mean, yelled, etc. I've told her I'm heartbroken and we're definitely getting a divorce, but honestly, that's where it starts and ends. Every little word that comes out of my mouth she twists like I'm some kind of bad guy. She claims I'm gaslighting her, which is crazy, because she is gaslighting me. She's always mean and confrontational when I see her, and honestly, I don't really say anything because I just know it'll be taken the wrong way or twisted in a way I didn't intend and she'll start an argument. What should I do? Why is she being so horrible? Shouldn't I be the one mad at her? Honestly, I just want to coast out this divorce process and move on, but she is so overly combative it's making a cordial divorce very, very difficult. At first, her gaslighting was getting to me. I was questioning myself hard, but I've had some time to step back and think rationally, and what she is claiming simply is not true. Someone help her brother out, cause I'm struggling. Edit 1, holy shit, the amount of advice/support I've gotten from you all is mind-blowing. To anyone that contributed, I truly mean this, thank you. Edit 2, it's been a day since I posted. I implemented the Grey Rock method immediately following this post, and it is working. It's driving her crazy, and in return, keeping me grounded. This post has saved my sanity, thank you all so much. Learn the value of Grey Rock and the 180 methods. Return her level of energy but have other coping mechanisms when she's not around. Find ways to release emotional energy not around her. Don't waste any more energy in a conversation with her. Start planning how and when you can move. Remove all mutual friends that don't support you from your life. Focus fresh and with healthier people. Just Googled Grey Rocking, and that was super helpful, thank you. I have definitely inadvertently been practicing some of these methods in response to this, but this gives me something to be mindful about. I don't think my wife is a full-on psychopath or anything, but understanding how I can disengage from confrontation in someone who is looking for it is helpful. No one wants to be the villain in their own story. So that she can live with herself, she needs to make you the villain. Don't let her do this. Expose her to everyone. Don't let her be the official historian on your marital story. This is true. Gonna sound a little crazy, but to some capacity, I feel like continuing to be cordial and mature about this is what's getting her so combative. My reaction isn't quite aligning with her story, and that is causing her to lash out at me. If what I just said is true, that's her burden to bear. I don't want to be aggressive or vindictive and make whatever weird version of reality she has true. She wants you to blow up so she can legitimize what she did. She needs proof that you're who she says you are. Don't give it to her. She is a non-person at this point. Treat her with dismissive contempt. Ignore her traps. If you need to get a dig in on her, just call her an adulterer. Call her a cheater. And then leave the room. No one makes another cheat. You do not have to defend yourself. I promise we all believe you. My cheater moved out right away to live with the new girlfriend, but otherwise the start of my story is somewhat similar. And the gaslighting, oh the gaslighting. Still sorting out reality in my head, it's terrible. I'll get there someday, but right now it's awful. I'm sorry. Agree with others who have posted here regarding minimal contact and grey rocking. It's hard, but imagine a wall surrounding you and protecting your sanity. You will make it. I'm sorry. Appreciate your words of encouragement. It's crazy when someone is trying to convince you that you made them cheat. Doesn't even make sense. Wishing you all of the best as well. Yep. I'm trying not to talk to my cheater, but every time I do he finds another piece or history to rewrite or another way to blame shift. It's horrible. No kidding. I'm really sorry to hear that, but appreciate you making me mindful to that. Keep fighting the good fight. My wife cheated on me, we're going through the divorce process and live in the same house. She is gaslighting the hell out of me. I feel like staying under the same roof is horrible for my mental health. Update. Been 3 weeks since my original post, so I figured I'd post an update. Long story short, my wife had an affair, and was really making me feel horrible about myself. Turning her friends against me like I'm a monster, and genuinely just being a really, uncharacteristically, awful human being. Link to original post. If you're going through the divorce process, or your spouse cheated on you and is making you feel bad about it, I feel like I have some solid stuff to share. My STBXW and I are well on our way through the divorce process now. I didn't kick the can too much on the divorce, didn't second guess myself, kept the course, and because of that I'm almost free. My soon-to-be ex has done and said some extremely crazy, illogical, and hurtful things along the way. At this point, every word she says further seals this divorce and solidifies my decision. I've been told I made her cheat, ha. I've been told I abused her, ha. Definitely not. I've been gaslighted on multiple occasions during our settlement that the morally right thing to do is XYZ, ha, and the list goes on. Sometimes I wonder if she's even living on planet Earth with how she's thinking about things. This divorce has opened my eyes quite a bit, and I'm realizing I was a little bit of a sucker. I love with my whole heart, and because of that, I've allowed her to manipulate my emotions along the way, question myself, etc. I fell into an empathy trap, and what I mean by that is I empathize with her even when the things she thought or said made no sense. I unintentionally fueled completely irrational thoughts. The script has been flipped entirely. She doesn't even know how to interact with me when she can no longer manipulate me. Thank you to all of your wonderful people who recommended Grey Rock, and because of that, the only thing she can do is get mad, explode, etc. essentially go into an unprovoked rage. If I snapped one day, and called her every name in the book, it would be the equivalent of resuscitating her. It would give her relief, not make her feel worse, which is twisted in every way, but I know it's the truth. Anyways, I haven't given her an inch. Not a single inch. I'm not mean, I'm not aggressive, I'm not vindictive, I'm none of those things, and never have been. I'm confident, I'm grounded, and I'm thinking rationally/logically. Not letting my heart take the wheel, not slipping up or losing my cool, and certainly not letting her manipulate me any further. She's still in her cheater's fog, she still feels justified for her decisions, etc. I have not, and doubt I ever will, received an apology. Not from her anyhow. Her family has apologized profusely, which is appreciated, but doesn't necessarily cover up the hurt I experienced. I will admit at this moment, the hurt I see in her family far outweighs the hurt I feel for losing my wife. They're good people, it is unfortunate the apple fell far, far from the tree. In a few short weeks I'm a free man. Not sure when the fog will be lifted for her, but I do have sympathy for her to a capacity. There will be a day when she wakes up. A day where reality/real life catches up with her. Don't know if that's a few months, a year, or half a lifetime, but it'll come. There will be a day she is sitting in her apartment/home, alone, and the burning fling she had will begin to die out. I empathize with her, because the pain she will feel in that moment will be exactly what I felt. Absolutely crushed. Physically sick to my stomach, and an emotional mess. Truly, I was a phenomenal husband. It is now, and always has been my personality to be a chipper smiling face for her, jovial, and a rock-solid shoulder to lean on. Reliable, loyal, and loving would all be understatements, and she will grow to recognize that she hit the lotto on her first go-round and nuked the marriage to pieces with what she'll one day recall as the biggest mistake of her life. A fling, an exciting affair, etc. cannot and never will be able to replace a lifetime partner who understands and willingly accepts genuine commitment. She will one day learn and understand that. I've put in my time, I've experienced the hurt, I've reflected on myself, our marriage, and what led us to this point. I sought professional counsel to make sure I was giving myself the opportunity to decompress my thoughts and emotions. I've read literature. I've critically analyzed myself and my behavior to try and pinpoint exactly what it was that led her to do what she did. Fact is, nothing I did led her to cheat. Nothing. I wasn't perfect, nobody is, but I loved her, I would work and make sacrifices for her, and the fact of the matter is that it wasn't a two-way street. The lies, the manipulation, all of the wild things she says she truly may believe, but they're not coming from a place of rationality. She gave up on a marriage that I was putting 100% effort into, and had an affair with someone that would have gone to the moon and back for her. It destroyed my confidence, not going to lie, but in these moments of absolute emotional agony and adversity, it will make me a better man on the other side. Guys, seriously. If you're unhappy in a marriage, communicate. Do not cheat. And if you do cheat, own it. Look internally. Don't further hurt those people around you and blame them. Hundreds of hours of ruminating, thinking about myself, blaming myself, etc., all could have been prevented by a simple phrase from my soon-to-be ex, "Hey. I'm sorry, I ducked up." I don't know if anyone here needs to hear this, but if you're currently playing the blame game, down on your dauber, feeling like you took a hit to your confidence, etc., stop. Reflecting on yourself is powerful, and I think critique is good to a capacity, but you don't drive someone to an affair. You cannot accept blame for another individual's character flaw, period. If things are messed up, you've tried counseling, gone down every avenue to correct things, etc., a divorce is the appropriate next step. Not a secret affair. I'll leave you with this. My soon-to-be ex looked me directly into my eyes, and said with 100% confidence, "I'm not the type of person to have an affair. That's not who I am. You led me to that point." Carrot, if you've ever heard that phrase before, or hear it in the future, package it up in a pretty box, make sure it's nice and sealed, and shove it right where the sun doesn't shine. That doesn't even make sense. I'd love to rob a bank and tell the officers I'm not the type of person to rob a bank, and the government made me do it, but I'm a rational adult and that's now how it works. Thanks for reading and allowing me to share my thoughts, and thank you for all of the advice on my original post. This sub has been monumental in my sanity for the past 3 weeks. Save yourself. Get out of there, fast. You got that right. I'm on the fast track out of this one. I've come to realize that I'm more sad that I'm about to be a divorced man than the woman I am losing in the divorce. It's not my character to throw in the towel, but not wanting to be a quitter is not a valid reason to stay with someone who has already quit on you. It was good to read your story. I'm sorry you've gone through this. I was really able to relate. My ex cheated many times and apparently I drove him to it. It's laughable, I know. I can laugh now. More than your main post, this comment resonates. I was ashamed to leave, picturing comments about another failed relationship. I wanted a traditional, just one, long-term, monogamous relationship. If you ever need to chat to someone who's been through it, it's okay to message me. I genuinely may take you up on that, thank you. I'm not the type of person to have an affair. That's not who I am. You led me to that point. Wow. I just wrote, deleted, and repeated for a few minutes in awe of the cognitive dissonance. I heard this line too. Then a few months later I found out my STB ex cheated on her fiancé years before she met me. Ha. Believe me when I tell you there is no frame of mind I could possibly put myself in to understand how one could not only say that statement, but believe it. This is going to sound overly sarcastic, but I'm genuinely not kidding. I could have a more rational discussion with a 7-year-old child than an adult that makes that statement and believes it. Story 2. 9 years and 2 kids means nothing, I guess. Advice. Found out last Tuesday my partner of 9 years that I have a 8 and 6-year-old who cheated the weekend before Christmas. We had talked about possibly splitting up before, but just a couple weeks before this she said she wanted to try and work things out. Apparently after Christmas shopping all day then cooking dinner for the family, I denied her a quickie multiple times because I was playing with my kids and cooking was enough to make her snap. According to her she finally had enough and decided to leave the house after 7 shots of tequila and go buy another bottle and go to this guy's house. She lied and said she went to her dad's until I showed her the phone records from Saturday night. She finally admitted it and has proceeded to blame me for it all. Since finding out last Tuesday I have learned that she has been talking bad about me to this man and his best friend for months. We are still living together for a little bit until Christmas break is over and also because my kids have been super sick for the past couple weeks. She continues to leave us at random times and go see this guy and then lie about it, including on Christmas Day. One of the nights she went to her work where she bartends to visit a friend, and while she was gone her AP's best friend messaged me on Facebook threatening me at my home while I am there with my kids. She lied and said she wasn't there with them until I called her out and then she admitted it. She is planning on being gone all weekend to celebrate New Year's with her new guy. She talked about splitting up before and how she needs to spend some time by herself because she never really did that ever, but now every time she gets some free time she is seeing this guy. My plan is to just be the best father and person I can for my kids and not date anyone for a long time while I work on my inadequacies. I just don't get how someone can walk away from sleeping next to someone and sharing kids in a life with someone for 9 years to going straight to another guy. Edit. Also I should add every time she is home she doesn't play with the kids or talk to them, she just sits there on her phone quietly. All I've wanted to do since I found out is be with my kids and show them love, but she seems like she doesn't even care. I know she loves them so it makes no sense. Do you have a solution plan? You will play my happy father by waiting for her to come back from the apps. You should separate your financial situation, inform the social circle about your relationships, and prevent App and his/her friends from harassing you. Yeah, I'm moving out in a week or 2 and taking the kids 5 days out of the week because she is an alcoholic bartender who works at night. You shouldn't have any problem getting custody then. And she'll owe you child support. The only time she'll have available to have her kids are her days off, so that will put a damper on her love life. Be prepared for her to pawn your kids off on you or her parents when it's her visitation time. Make sure you start documenting everything. All interactions with her. Interactions between her and your kids. Missed visitation times. How many times she calls them, or doesn't call them. Put in the separation agreement that neither of you are allowed to have the kids around new partners for a period of time, 6 months, a year. Your kids will grow up knowing that you were the better parent. You'll be a hero to them. Let her wreck her life. Just protect your kids from her. I've started documenting everything since the day I found out, 9 days ago. I know the only reason she is okay with the 5 is because she works late 4 of the nights and wants to have time with her new guy on the weekend because he works early in the morning, even though she won't say that part. I just want to be the best person possible for my kids, and I've always wanted that. Just have more motivation now. Yes sir. Strike now while the iron is hot. While she's focused on this new guy, she's far more likely to do whatever and sign whatever just to get you out of the picture. Try to get everything you can. Maybe you can even get her on supervised visitations with regular drug/alcohol tests until she proves she's a responsible and safe person for your kids to be around. Good luck, Hop. Thanks for the support and advice. I appreciate it. Why are you the one moving out? She's the one that wants out, so throw her out. She can move in with her new guy. Don't move out. Do not leave. She needs to leave. Do not leave your house, it will look worse. Have the locks changed if you aren't married and you own the place. She decided to leave the marriage and your kids, including on Christmas Day. She can leave the house too. Consult a lawyer ASAP regarding the custody order, as she should only get supervised visitation considering the details you have mentioned in post and comments, about getting blackout drunk on multiple occasions. Also, as you have mentioned that the AP's best friend has messaged you on Facebook threatening you. Use that to your fullest to have a restraining order against AP and AP's best friend, as that would be helpful in a custody battle. Thank you for this advice. I will look into the restraining order. I have screenshots of his messages. A lawyer will help you get this sorted, and as you'll be the primary caregiver, so she has to pay you child support. Hope she realizes what she has done and at least be a good mother to the kids in future. That's all I want. Is for her to get her head out of her ass for her kids' sake. I don't want them to resent her when they grow up and not have a relationship because she was an alcoholic and cheated. As well as not being an attentive mother because she is always hungover and cranky. The only thing you can do apart from being the best parent for your kids is to hope she has a wake-up call. However, I won't have high expectations from her, since she's giving a false narrative to the AP, so when things will come into light and the AP will realize how he's being played by her for attention, and there will be chaos in her life, maybe then she may have that realization. However, until then she shouldn't occupy a second of your thought. I appreciate all your advice. Thank you. Story 3. Girlfriend of 10 years cheated on me with her boss who's also married. Rant. Title pretty much explains it. I've noticed for a while that she was acting distant towards me and that she was really close with her boss at work. She told me they were just close friends, so I believed her. One day she left her smartwatch out and I noticed he was messaging her a lot, so I checked the messages. There were messages where she said good morning love, and he also messaged her saying that he couldn't get her out of his head. This was 8 months ago and you would assume this was enough evidence, but she basically gaslit me. She told me she calls him love as a joke and that he was thinking about her because they had an argument at work. She told me I was crazy for thinking that and that I was horrible for not trusting her, so I ended up believing her. For the past 8 months I've been trying to make it up to her because I felt so bad about accusing her. Well, a few weeks ago she left her phone out and I had this weird feeling in my stomach, so I checked her phone again. The first time I did so in 8 months. This time I saw she messaged him and told him she loved him. He told her he was jealous of me because he wanted her all to himself, and she told him that he did have her all to himself. She also messaged her best friend and told her about the sex they had and how great it was. She went into detail about how many times he made her finish and that it was great to have sex that she enjoyed again, ouch, and her friend was telling how happy she was for her. Her boss is also married and has a wife. I messaged his family and told them everything and none of them believed me. My ex and her boss both came up with a story that I was jealous of their friendship and didn't know what I was talking about, and they believed them. The worst part is not knowing how long it was going on for. Apparently her sister told me she was suspicious about them almost 2 years ago but didn't have proof and thought she was overreacting. They had a work trip in Texas 2 years ago and there's pictures of her with his arm around her, and she also came home with a necklace she said she bought. I think he bought it for her, but yeah. I'm 31 and she's 33 and her boss is 60, so it really messed with my self-esteem. I don't know how much of our 10-year relationship was true. She never told me the truth about anything. The only things I know are what I found out myself, and she refuses to tell me anything more. We are split up now and I know she's going out on his boat with him after work all the time. I thought about hiring a private investigator so I could expose both of them, but at this point I can't be bothered. I want nothing to do with either of them. I've never felt more broken and betrayed in my entire life. The fact that someone who I was so happy with is now living her best life with someone else crushes me. It's like I never even knew her at all. You're only 31. You can start over. Let him have her. She's trash anyway. Once she comes to the realization that he will never leave his wife and family, and/or he replaces her with someone younger, she will come crawling back to you. Don't take the bait. Work on improving every aspect of your life. That's really good advice. Thank you. This lawyer up and divorce never took her back. So the boss's wife still doesn't believe they are cheating? I am in that age range. She probably knows and doesn't care, or doesn't intend to give up her lifestyle. I would hazard a guess this isn't my wife's first rodeo. My thoughts exactly. Yeah, she and the kids freaked out on me and said they would sue for me slander like it was wild. They can sue you for slander and you can have their texts read aloud in open court. Send them a copy of their texts and you have done what you can. Just extricate yourself and begin the process of healing. No contact has the best odds of the best outcome for you in every scenario. Since he is married, it will end up coming out, since at the least it will make her wonder. They will likely get there, but you don't have to worry about that. Just do what you need to take care of you. You told them, good on you. What they do with that information is on them. Walk away and rebuild your life. Tell their company's HR department. Unless he owns the business, I guarantee they'll care about him having sex with a subordinate. It puts them at risk for a sexual harassment lawsuit. Wow, sorry man, that stinks. Your ex is horrid though, and you need to move away from it all and fast. Narcissistic beast. Probably should have mentioned we have a 6-year-old son, so I can't cut her out completely, unfortunately. Save the texts for your son when he's older, in case she tells him you are the reason for the divorce to turn him against you. Install a court-approved app, and communicate about your child only through that. As you're not married, you should probably see a lawyer about your access rights. Exposing them won't matter. It may matter at work, though I have never seen that it matters, unless it's a public company. Your best bet is to get therapy, hit the gym, and block her everywhere. You're young. You will find someone else. She, too, will waste the remainder of her youth on a man who won't leave his wife. In a decade, I predict you will have a better partner, maybe a child, and she will still be playing second fiddle to his wife. Being the other woman, being a part of him cheating on his wife, is living her best life? I believe you need to adjust your definition of her living her best life. This is only going to end in heartache for her. Yes, she's being used. She probably doesn't care now, but in a few years she will realize she's in her mid to late 30s and she's a mistress to a man 27 years older. If that's what her goal in life is, then you wouldn't want to be part of that, would you? And no matter how many times she finished with him, he's still 60. He's not going to be rising for the occasion forever. It's not like she left you for someone similar, except the guy was bigger and stronger and made more money. She sold her soul for necklaces and boat rides and sneaking around. When the evidence is staring you right in the face and you ignore it, you do so at your own peril. I know, blinded by love and all that jazz. What did his family say when you showed them the sexual messages? And I guarantee you that she won't be living her best life when the boss gets tired of using her and dumps her. That's when she'll come crawling back asking for forgiveness, telling you how stupid she was, that you were the best thing that ever happened to her, etc. I pray you don't take her back, because she'll likely do it again. They said the texts were photoshopped. I don't even know how to use Photoshop, lol. I think they are just in denial. We hope that by sharing these stories with interested folks like you, we can help people recognize the signs of a relationship in trouble, and avoid so many of these heartbreaking situations yourselves. Have a good day or night, wherever you are.